Hey guys, Dave with Moniology here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Today's August 1st, 2021. This is the commodities watch list. We're going to go through 42 monthly charts in the gold, silver, copper space, as well as oil and gas and uranium, and try to see if we can identify some opportunities, but more importantly, some lessons that we might be able to take away for our future trading knowledge. This video is going to be available to the public, and I hope you guys enjoy. We're not annotating a lot of these charts. We're just going to look at them and see what we can deduce from them. So let's dive right in, starting with IMPUY Gold and Silver. So this is a chart that's been on the top of our watch list for quite some time. We've been covering it for a while, so many of our premium subscribers have owned this and have done incredibly well. And really what happened here is when we broke out of this neckline, roughly around 5.5, that was a trigger to go long from a monthly perspective. There were other triggers from a weekly perspective, such as here. But once we broke out of this kind of rounded bottom and we took off, we consolidated here for a while and took off, and now it's been basically a stair-step pattern higher. Bottom line is this. This is all being done while gold and silver have been in a correction. And this is very, very important. To see a stock like this to be in super overbought territory is the most bullish technical indicator you can find. Basically, the three areas that I look for to find, quote, the most bullish technical indicators. The first is RSI to be at multi-year highs, price to be at multi-year highs, and the MACDs to be at multi-year highs. So this checks off all boxes, and I think IMPUY is going to continue going higher, probably going to double, if not triple from here once gold, or if gold passes 2,000, which is certainly our expectation. So while we're not going to talk about price targets at this point, I just want to point out that this is just a very bullish chart pattern, and this would be my support level, and I think this is going much higher. Amerigo Resources, another name that we've tracked, and this one hasn't obviously done as well as IMPUY. In fact, it's very hard to do as well as IMPUY has done. But this one also has been doing quite well over the last couple of months. We've pulled back, but this is a bullish flag pattern, and back testing this breakout. And I think Amerigo is setting up for a very nice move to the upside once this bullish flag breaks out around 1.4. So keep an eye on this one. I think the stop loss here, I would have around this 13-month moving average around 96, and I think it's going much higher from here. Victoria Gold, one of our favorites. This one is consolidating beautifully, but I think it's setting up for a major move to the upside. We had a rounded bottom here, and we broke out. We back tested this, had a bullish flag consolidation, broke out higher, and now we've got 3 straight months of bullish price action. The last one with a hammer pattern here, which is attempting to break down and closing at the highs of the month. And bottom line is, although RSI is still the one area that I would point out is RSI and the MACDs, they are not at all-time highs, right? Nevertheless, I think that there's a huge opportunity to go long this name above these levels. I feel very comfortable owning it with a stop loss below 16. So your downside is limited. And if this breaks this 21 area, I think this is going to go into the 30s, eventually much higher than that. Skeena Resources. This is a beautiful chart. You've got a consolidation above the previous breakout here, and just a beautiful hammer pattern, closed at the highs of the month. And this one, there's just not much in terms of resistance until about this 28 to 35 level. And even that resistance is pretty weak. But this one back into super bullish territory above the 69.1 level. And Skeena is a great risk reward right now. Stop loss below the 13 month rather, 12.15. And I think you're going much higher. Argonaut Gold. Here's another name that's just beautiful, blue sky breakout potential here after a roughly 5-year rounded bottom here. If this breaks, or when this breaks 350, there's really not much resistance till you get into teens. So I love the fact that you've got RSI breaking out just a little bit here, not only above the 61.8 Fibonacci level, but really it's breaking out above really the last time it was at this level, 2013. So 7-year, 8-year highs, and the MACDs are starting to pick up steam. So this is really setting up nicely. I love this name based on this chart. Corvus Gold. Here's another name that, although it doesn't have as much price history as some of the other names, it's breaking out to all-time highs here, or very close to it. And so while it hasn't done it, as soon as it breaks above 420, this is a very strong buy. RSI has not yet eclipsed this level, so it needs to clear this level. But if it does, this is going to set up for a major move to the upside. Notice the volume's picking up, so keep this one on your radar. And I think this one's ready to go for a breakout. Now, is it possible that we have a cup and handle consolidation here? Yeah, absolutely, which is why you might want to wait for the breakout. But nevertheless, this one should be at the top of your radar. Speaking of top of your radar, Ivanhoe Mines, we've been covering this, since 2014, 2015, and what a move it's had. Bottom line is, this has been in a rounded arch pattern for quite some time. It broke out here roughly around the $5 range, and it took off. And now you've got the moving average serving as support and really your stop loss. And this one's about to break $10, and this is going to fly. This is probably going to be one of the largest copper producers in the world by the time it's all said and done. And RSI above the 69.1 Fibonacci level. And looks to me like it's setting up for a major move to the upside. Turquoise Hill Resources, another copper producer. So this is another hammer pattern. It tried to break down this month, but it closed all the way near the top of its trading range, bounced perfectly off of support, moving average support. And while it's not breaking out yet, this is a bottoming play right now. So above 20, this is a very strong buy. But I would frankly be accumulating here with a stop loss below 14 if I wanted to own this name. If this breaks 20, this is going to get into the 30s really fast. And beyond that, you see how much it's gone down. I think this is just now getting started with this new uptrend. Look at the volume, major volume here. RSI is multi-year highs, and that's precisely where you want to be in an uptrend if you're investing long term. Anglo American, another name that's beautiful producer, beautiful chart action here. Back tested the 19 level and really took off from there. And basically, to me, RSI is going back above the 69.1 level. MACDs are at multi-year highs. And if once this clears roughly 24, I think this is going to be moving into the 30s and much higher. This is a must-own name if you're a believer in precious metals and you want more, quote, conservative exposure. Freeport McMoran had a pullback off the highs. This is a name that we've been watching and investing and trading for a long time. March 2020 presented a great opportunity, but we've been riding this trade for a long time. And basically what I want to show here is a couple things. One was we had a double bottom here, right? From the 2016 lows to the 2020 lows. Notice that RSI never made new lows. That was positive divergence that suggested this move here in 2020 was a fluke. And once we broke the neckline here, roughly around these levels, above 14, took off. And so it's been quite a move. It's pulled back from 46. So here's an opportunity after the pullback. Bounced perfectly off of support, 13-month moving average around 30 here. And I think this one's ready to go. Again, you want to own stocks that are in long-term, super bullish, overbought conditions, because that's where the biggest moves do occur. And I think this is not only going to move back towards 46, but it's going to move to all-time highs sooner rather than later. Wesdome Gold Mines, one of our favorites in the space. This one has done incredibly well for our subscribers. Once it cleared this neckline around $3, it really took off, and the rest is history. So it pulled back here from the highs of 15 all the way to 778. So it's been a tough go of it. But right now it looks to me like it's readying for that next move higher. Once it clears 15, blue sky. And look at the MACDs. They're after correcting, recharging their batteries. I think Wesdome is ready to go and move much higher. Impala Platinum. Love this chart. Love this name. Bottom line is had a pullback for a couple of months. Bullish flag. Now you're breaking out again above 69.1, precisely where you want to be. Once this clears 21 here, this is going to continue to make new highs and likely moving into the 30s. And this is all while platinum is still consolidating and not doing so well. All right, K92 Mining. This is a beautiful chart. Look at this chart. Consolidating near all-time highs. You've got the bullish ascending triangle pattern, and this one is now back above the 69.1 level. Once this clears $9, this is going to go into the teens. You've got the support of the 13-month EMA around 728, and I think this is a great one to own or have on your radar. Kirkland Lake Gold, another one of the top up-and-coming producers. It's kind of fallen on hard times over the last couple of months from the highs of 75 to the lows of 38. But right now, the MACDs are moving in a positive direction. And while not super bullish, this is a bottoming play that looks to me like it's about to break out. And the downtrend has ended. And while you can't say for certain that it's ready to break, I think once it breaks 55 to the upside, I think it's going to be moving back towards 75. And I would not be surprised to see the stock at well above 100 before you know it. All right, let's take a look at some oil and gas names. So Laredo Petroleum. This one was down 32%, and you're going to see a theme in the oil and gas space. 32% to the downside on the month. Many commodity stocks really got hit, and so the question is this a back test or is this a reversal lower? Now, although nobody knows, I will say that this is a great risk-reward opportunity. You've got the 9-month moving average at 34. And typically, by the way, I use 9-month moving averages on the monthly. I guess it didn't switch over for the precious metals stocks that we just looked at. But 9-month EMA as support at 34. I think it's a good risk-reward. I do think this is going to be going back above 60 and higher. But the key is it needs to hold this 50 level. If it holds 50, I think that this is going to be moving higher into the rest of the year. If it cannot hold 50 and it breaks lower, then it's going to break these moving averages and you're out of the trade with a small loss to the downside. NuVista Energy. So this one, again, you've got the bullish crossover, the 9-month to the 9 over the 18-month. And so that presents your stop loss. So 250 is your downside. And I think even if there's some additional weakness, I think it's going to be bought. Once it breaks above $4, I think this is going to continue moving higher towards $10. I love that it got rejected here for the first time around 61.8. This is the last area it got rejected from the highs, so not a surprise. Once this clears, all green lights to move higher. Cardinal Energy. So Cardinal Energy also down 10% on the month. Not terrible, but bottom line is it's found support off the 9-month moving average. This is the previous breakout zone as well. So that's your stop loss around 250. And once this clears, I'd say roughly 350. I think this is going to go much higher. There's pretty much blue sky here. And so this is a great looking chart. Summit Midstream Partners. And this one, although we don't have a bullish crossover yet, I love the formation. Broke out above the neckline here, roughly around 30. It's now moving. Now it's above the 18-month moving average, around 32. That's going to be my stop loss. And RSI is still not above 50, so it hasn't really moved all that much. But to be up 23% in a month when the rest of the space was down anywhere between 50 and 30%, or 15 and 30, is a really good sign. MACDs are at multi-year highs, and I think this one is a great stock to own potentially. Advantage Oil and Gas, another name that really is just now breaking out. Beautiful rounded bottom, and you've got the bullish crossover of the moving averages. That would be my stop loss around 350. And once this clears 5, this is going to move into the teens. So really good price action. Notice where it reversed, exactly where the pullback started back in 2016 here, off the highs. So that's going to serve as some resistance, but once that clears, I think this is going much higher, a really good looking stock. North European Oil Royalty Trust. Here's another name that just broke above the neckline, but did not break down even as the sector did. And RSI is at multi-year highs. So are the MACDs, so is the price, and you've got a stop loss below 650 here. I think this is a great risk reward with an initial target of around 12 here, which is the previous breakdown point. Notice RSI is much higher today than when we last broke down below 1250. So that's a really good sign and positive divergence. MV Oil and Trust. Here's a name, another name that pulled back off these highs, right? Not a surprise. And now it's just consolidating, trying to find support. But it initially broke out right here, roughly around the neckline, around $4, and it's taken off. And now it's pulling back, cooling off a bit. So my stop loss below 550, and I would be accumulating here because I think as soon as this breaks above $8 once again, this is going into the teens, and I think there's a lot of still potential upside here. SM Energy. So it's coming into some congestion here around 25 zone, pulled back here at the 69.1 level, which again is where we broke down here and where we broke down here and where we broke down here. So this is a point of resistance. I would buy this only if it breaks back above 25. And at that point, I could see this going to 32, 41, and well higher if this oil and gas trade is sustainable over the long haul. If you want to be picking up shares here, well, your stop loss would be 15 if you're wrong. So that is not a bad place to go at it as well. Matador Resources. So Matador this is a really strong looking chart. We're at all-time highs in price. Yes, we've pulled back some, but RSI was at all-time high levels, and you've got support coming in at the 8-month moving average around 25. I think this is a very strong buy, and you want to own the names that are the strongest in the sector, and you want to know names that are at all-time highs, frankly. And this is definitely fits the bill. MACDs are at all-time highs. RSI is at multi-year highs. Last time only reached at this level, and no surprise that we pulled back right at that same level. And this is a 5-star looking chart. Texas Pacific Land Trust. This is another name, all-time highs, right? This is probably a name that pays a nice dividend yield, and it's appreciating as well. It just looks good. I mean, it's one of those names that probably won't be moving as much, but nevertheless, it's paying a nice yield. You've got really nice volume coming in, trading at all-time highs. MACDs are there at all-time highs, so this is a great looking chart with a stop loss below the 9-month at 1263. Laredo Petroleum. So this had a great move, but pulled back 40% on the month. This is a very volatile name that's very often traded, but it's coming back to the 50 RSI level, and I like it because it's also coming back to the support around 47 here. So if it holds that 47 level, I think this one's going to get traded back higher and move well above 100 here. Obviously, if this was something tied to fundamentals, that's a different story. But this is a great risk-reward play to accumulate around these levels. If you're wrong, you have a very tight loss structure. And if it bounces at the 50, I think it can create a new uptrend or resume its uptrend to the upside. Select Energy Services, WTTR. This one is consolidating and breaking back above its 9 and 13-month moving averages. MACDs are at multi-year highs, and we're consolidating right below 50. If this clears above 50, this is going to really create a sharp move to the upside. You've got some resistance ahead around $7 to $8, but once that clears, there's not much resistance till you get to about $10 here, $9.68 and $12.75. So really like the setup. I like the kind of risk reward at 9-month around 5.30 here. And if you're wrong, you get stopped out. But if you're right, you can get a really nice move to the upside. Crescent Point Energy. Here's another name that's consolidating right at the highs and right at support. So if it can bounce off 50 RSI and kind of back test that bullish uptrend, and if it breaks back above $6, this is a very strong buy that likely heads into the teens here. So again, keep this one on your radar. I wouldn't quite be buying yet because it can break down. But if it bounces higher, then that's your trigger to go long. Synovus Energy, another name that roughly trading around the highs, around 12. Right here, it's found support at the 9-month moving average. And if this can break back above $12, then there's blue sky, really not much resistance till you hit 20. So RSI corrected right as where you would expect it to, right? You extend this line here, which is the last breakdown point, and this is where we found resistance. It might take some time, but once that breaks higher, then you're looking at a move to all-time highs or certainly in RSI. And then finally, let's take a look at how Chevron's doing. You want to see the big names to confirm uptrends. So Chevron from the lows at 48 is now at 111. It's consolidating near all-time highs here. And RSI is struggling right now really at the same level that it broke down from back in February of last year. If it can clear those levels, Chevron is a great conservative name to own. Bounced off of support here at the 9-month, 18-month around 97. So I think this is a strong buy above 110 because then I think you're creating a multi-year uptrend. But I really like energy here, and I think there's a good opportunity. All right, let's dive into some uranium charts. So Western Uranium and Vanadium Corp trading up 44% on the month and close to all-time highs. I think this one might consolidate here a while, but this one, as soon as it clears 340 here, this is going to be moving towards that $5 range. Really good-looking chart. Volume is at near all-time highs. MACDs are at multi-year highs, and this is a great-looking chart for breakout. Paladin Energy, one name in Australia, above 50 cents here, consolidating right now. It's at 38 cents US, but above 50 cents, this one is going to go berserk to the upside. I mean, this is a name back in the day went from 5 cents to $9. Not saying it's going to do the same thing, but it has potential to be a 10 to 20 bagger without a doubt. RSI is in super bullish territory, and that's precisely where you want to be. Volume's picking up because uranium is going to be the trade of the next decade, in my humble opinion. And if you don't own enough of uranium, well, some of these names are ones that you should consider. This is not going to be an exhaustive list. We cover those weekly for our subscribers, but it's certainly you won't regret owning these names. Would be my guess. Next Gen Energy, name in the Athabasca in Canada. Beautiful hammer pattern off the lows, off the 9-month moving average at 355, bounced and closed the month above the 69.1 level. Very bullish, and it's headed back towards the $5 level, in my humble opinion. Once that breaks, I think this is going to go 2 to 3x from here easily. This is going to be the leader, one of the leaders in the uranium renaissance, if you will, over the next couple of years. Laredo Resources. I chose this chart because I love the coiled nature of this chart and the Zarga uranium chart. Look at this pattern here. Since 2006 from the highs, it's been consolidating for roughly a decade. Here's the neckline here around 50 cents, and it's just now breaking out. This is the type of chart that you want to own. The next breakout move will be towards 91 cents, so great percentage move. RSI right now is at multi-year highs, and I think laramide is going to be a mover and shaker very, very soon. So is this going to move back to 16? I don't think so. There's been quite a bit of dilution, but you never know. Certainly a move back towards $3 would not at all surprise me. Possibly even $5 to $10 are all very strong possibilities. ISO Energy is another name. It's actually not a subsidiary, but it's owned by NextGen in some capacity. This is another name in Canada that's an explorer that's just been hitting it out of the park with drill results. It's been consolidating here At the highs, RSI, very bullish territory. And once this clears 350, which is my next target, this is going to make a very strong move to the upside. Definitely want to own this in your portfolio if you don't already. Global Atomic, perhaps the best mine in Africa. I mean, this is what you want to see. You want to see the stocks that are most bullish because they're telling you something. They're telling you that even if there's weakness, this is going to be the strongest out of the gate once the bull move continues. Look at the accumulation here. The accumulation, I honestly don't know how it's calculated. Sometimes it's a good tell. Sometimes it's just all over the place. But this one shows you this is being accumulated, and above 330, which is my next target, this is going to double, triple, quadruple from here. I'm definitely going to continue to be one of the leaders in the space. Now, our largest position in our portfolio happens to be Forum Energy. A portion of it is a traded position, but a portion of it is a core position. I love charts that have rounded parabolas like this one. I mean, this is a coiled pattern. It's got partnerships with Rio Tinto, with Orano, and with Cameco in the copper and uranium space. And it's pulled back a little bit. It's a great opportunity on lower volume to reload or add to your position. I think this is headed towards a buck, and beyond that, if they produce some really nice drill results, they're drilling copper, palladium, and uranium over the next couple of months, and if they hit on any one of those, this is going to double, potentially triple. Very tightly traded stock. Definitely want to keep this on your radar. It has pulled below the 69.1 level, but it's bounced nicely off the lows of this month. If it moves back above the 69.1 level, this is going to go up much higher. So I'm accumulating as much as I can of this name because this stock has a chart that's very similar to another one I'll point out to you in a second. Here's Forces Metals, an African explorer, African-based explorer. Beautiful parabola, broke out. Here's one of the necklines around 60 cents. It back tested this month and closed up on the month. It was down close to 40% this month and closed up on the month. Beautiful hammer pattern above 112. This is going towards $4. There's not much resistance. Beautiful, tightly held stock, and I think this is going to continue moving higher. Again, you want to own the names that are in this territory. All right, so Encore Energy, we've owned Encore basically since this region where we started accumulating, because rarely do you find a stock that's in an uptrend where the entire sector is in a major bearish downtrend, as was the case in uranium. Once it broke above this neckline, we started adding more and more, and up we went. So we're up close to 900% on our core holding, but I think this is just getting started here. Bottom line is this here above I'd say 90 cents, bounced perfectly back above in super bullish territory. Above, this is headed towards 163 on the Canadian, and I think this is headed back, not headed back, but probably will be a $5 to $10 stock before it's all said and done. Beautiful chart, and again, very similar formation to Forum Energy, right? This is the one I was talking about. You've got the rounded parabola, great management, very respectful to shareholders, not diluting unless it's accretive, and up we go. I think Forces and Forum Energy are showing the same signs. Centrus Energy, this one is not a miner. This is a nuclear involved with nuclear reactors, but this is beautiful chart. We've owned this along the way. Don't currently own this, but this is a gorgeous consolidation at the highs above 30, 31. I think this is going to make a move towards 62 and possibly much higher. I love the consolidations below major RSI resistance points, 69.1 in this case. If this can break above this level, this is going to be a major move to the upside. I love Zarga's monthly chart. Look at the coiled nature of this chart here, right? And it's just now breaking out of the neckline. So this is a must own. So very strong buy. I think the breakout here is going to make this move go to 65 cents rather quickly. Above this 65 cents, gosh, there's blue sky here. I mean, look at the move back in 04 from 75 cents to $45. Is it going to do the same thing? Unlikely. But is it going to go from 35 cents to $5 to $10? Absolutely. This is exactly the type of uptrend, higher highs and higher lows, and at multi-year highs, precisely what you want to own in an uptrend. Canalaska, name not too many folks talk about, but this is also broke out of the downtrend here, back tested this level on this pullback, back tested the 50 RSI level. I think it's ready to go again. 84 cents would be that next target, but above that, 155, and above that, there's basically blue sky, another name that went from about 90 cents to 10 bucks. And obviously, uranium has very wild swings, but if you catch it in the right uptrend, gosh, this one is going to go far. And I think I've got a Zarga here again, but that we've already done that. So bottom line is precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, copper, uranium, oil and gas. I mean, we've been covering coal, BTU, Peabody Energy, just a lot of these names. We're coming into a commodity super cycle. So you want to do your homework, do your due diligence on the best fundamental stories. Find the companies that don't dilute shareholders. Those are the ones that are going to do best and have done the best and will continue doing great. And if you do your homework, you're going to do incredibly well. They're going to be sharp corrections as we saw over the last couple of months, but now might be a great opportunity to get in on this trend. And so only invest what you can afford to lose, and tranche in, right? If you don't already own, buy in tranches. Even if it goes up, buy as it's going up or buy as it pulls back. But here are some great opportunities, and I think you're going to do better in the commodity trade than any other sector of the market over the next decade. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to support us, check us out at patreon.com/Moniology. Follow us on Twitter. We share our work. We very much appreciate it. And of course, Moniology.com. You can sign up to all of our premium videos there on the website. Thank you and have a great week. All the best.